Hey guys, welcome to another installation of the Living Oracle Energy Report. This is Akashic Guidance for Ascending Souls, and I am your host and your guide, Amy Belair. Okay, the energy right now for this week, this is technically, I'm coming at you from Tuesday, March 4th, so let's just say that I'm reporting on the energies that are most immediate on the week of Sunday, March 2nd through to Saturday, March 8th. Okay, let's say that. But as you know, and as I will probably say forever on every single episode henceforth, the energies that I'm bringing through, the guidance is timeless. It will apply to you whenever you listen to this. So in real time, I am reporting on it in early March of 2025. But if you were to listen to this 3 years from now, you will be drawn to the exact right episode that you need, wherein you will hear the exact thing that you need to hear at that time. So please don't just use this as a resource that has a shelf life of 1 week, because the energy just does not. The things we are going through, the upgrades that we are experiencing, and the way that we are processing this energy is truly quantum. It is not linear. Okay, so here we are. I am a quantum girl being forced to exist in a linear world, and I'm kind of salty about it, but I'm still going to play the game. Okay, anyways, so reporting from early March 2025, okay? We'll loosely say the first week of March. Now, we are experiencing some very powerful and very beautiful energies at this time they're powerful, but they're gentle, and they are more in the emotional realm right now. There's a lot of stuff astrologically happening around the axis between the end of Pisces and the beginning of Aries, which is so fucking exciting because on one level, Pisces is the ending. The fact that we are playing around in the final degrees of Pisces in so many places right now is really, really important for us to understand that we are bringing a long cycle, multiple long cycles to an end all at the same time. And then the beginning degrees of Aries is like literally the new birth, the new beginning. It is card 0 of the tarot. It is the Fool. So we're dancing on this precipice right now. We're sort of toggling back and forth within ourselves and on a collective level between the old and the new. And we can all feel it and we can fucking see it. But that's really what's happening. But we're getting right to that edge currently. So let me see if I can properly summarize everything that's happening in Pisces and Aries right now. Okay, so on the day that I record this, the sun is in Pisces. It is at 14 degrees of Pisces. Mercury is at 1 degree of Aries, so it just shifted into Aries, and it's going to station retrograde on the 15th. So it's in its pre-retrograde shadow right now, and it's going to retrograde back to 26 degrees of Pisces. So Mercury is dancing between Aries and Pisces, Pisces and Aries at the moment. The sun is in Pisces. Venus is in Aries, but she is retrograde at the moment, and she is going to go back into the late degrees of Pisces. Chiron is in Aries. The North Node just turned into Pisces, but we're going to have a total lunar eclipse in Aries on March 14th, the day before Mercury goes retrograde in Aries on the 15th. There's just so much happening between Pisces and Aries. Oh, and Neptune is at the anaretic degree of Pisces, which is the last degree, the 29th degree. This is critical. This is like synthesis time. So Neptune is at the last degree of Pisces, and it's going to shift into Aries in a couple months. Saturn is at 21 degrees of Pisces. It's going to shift into Aries in a couple months. It's a lot. It's amazing. And I know, like, it's my job to explain what this all means. The dates matter to some people, the degrees matter to some people, but more importantly, like, what does this actually mean for you? If you're kind of, if you're like, I don't even understand what you're talking about, Amy, let me explain it. So we all, as I said before, we're all going through this big it's the wrapping up of an old story. It's the shifting into a new story on so many levels. And right now, our job is to really close whatever open loops we have in our awareness. So close out the story on all the levels that you can, get closure wherever closure needs to be gotten in whatever way. And I'll say with Venus in retrograde and Mercury in retrograde, there may be conversations from the past that need to be had right now. This might be the time to clear the decks about shit that went down in the past. And if it's not, because sometimes you tune into something like that and you're like, should I reach out? Should I say something? Should I open up this can of worms? And sometimes the true guidance is no. The answer is no, but you still need to bring resolution to the open-ended energy. This is a perfect time to remove our cords from other people and remove our cords from other timelines and just wrap those old stories up. So that's a lot of the Pisces energy. But Pisces is also the dreamer. And with Neptune at that last degree of Pisces, Neptune is the dreamer and Pisces is the dream. And it's just we're also, as we wrap up all those other things, we're being invited to really, really, really let ourselves dream. Let yourself dream with no limitations, no constrictions. You are allowing your dream to show itself to you, okay? Rather than you constructing the dream, you're letting the dream reveal itself to you in its fullness, in the fullness of everything that it wants to have the chance to imagine itself as being. So often we limit our dream because, I don't know, we just have this excuse come up, or we just encounter something that makes us feel that the safer move is to pull back the reins and not let the dream keep growing and unfolding. Do you know what I mean? You know that feeling? I mean, I've caught myself doing it so many times, and I'm a dreamer, y'all. I'm literally, the dream is my comfort zone, and I still limit myself. And I know I limit myself way less than other people because I ask people annoying questions about their dreams all the time, and they tell me how annoying it is. And the reason it's annoying is because they don't let themselves dream, so they don't have the answer to what that dream is. So I know that you know what I'm talking about, because if I feel it, then you definitely feel it. It's just something we do. We've received programming on so many levels to cause us to stop the dream from unfolding. And what is the harm in dreaming? Why do we do that? I mean, I know why, but rhetorically, why do we do that? What is the harm in letting yourself dream? We cinch it off because we're afraid that if we let ourselves fully dream and it doesn't come true, we will be disappointed. But that makes no sense as a strategy, because it guarantees that the dream will not come true, and it guarantees that we will be disappointed. So it doesn't protect us from anything. It actually allies us and anchors us into the dream not coming true, the timeline where the dream doesn't come true. It's such a weird thing we do. I'll tell you an embarrassing personal story. So when I was in, I think it was in grade 4 or 5, I was having my yearbook picture taken, and it was really, really bright, and it was a group of 5 of us, so there was some fussing and arranging and organizing, and my eyes were starting to really water under the light, and I just had this big smile plastered on my face, just waiting for them to take the damn picture. And it was taking too long, so I closed my eyes for a minute, and I was like, gosh, I really don't want to blink. What if I just keep my eyes closed? Then I won't blink, because my eyes will already be closed, so I won't blink. That was the little thought that my little, 10-year-old brain or 9-year-old brain had. If I just keep my eyes closed, they'll already be closed, and so I won't blink. And I that was a perfectly reasonable thought to me at the time. And then when we got the yearbook pictures, it was just so ridiculous because I had this huge smile plastered on my face and my eyes were completely closed. And it was, it was just such a funny moment to be like, oh, that's what humans do. We think to ourselves that we will cause the worst case scenario to happen preemptively, almost to just get the other shoe to drop so that we don't feel disappointed if it does happen. It's like if we can just make it happen, then we'll feel less disappointed. You know, if we can make ourselves limit our dream so that we don't get disappointed if it doesn't happen, then we won't be disappointed. But then we are disappointed because we live in the reality where the dream doesn't happen because we closed our eyes. We closed our eyes on the dream. We ended the dream. So anyway, I know I sound so stupid in that story, but I was like 9. I don't know. The lights were bright, all right. But right now, with everything that's happening in those late degrees of Pisces and like teetering into Aries, it's sort of like, just fucking let yourself dream. Let yourself dream the big, big, big dream. Oh, that big dream. Twirly slide and all. Who cares? We don't need, you know, if you've always dreamed about having a twirly slide coming out of the attic of your house, your 4-story house, let yourself dream that. Why not? Why not? There's no harm in letting yourself dream that. And the more you let yourself dream right now, the more likely it is that you are going to find yourself on the other side of this threshold we're teetering on, in the timeline that matches your highest dream or most closely matches your highest dream. Because what Aries is, like I said, it's like the Fool card. It's the beginning. It's the birth. It's the beginning of something new. So we're wrapping up all these old stories and we're about to embark on a new story. And both of these things are happening at the same time. It's like we're closing out all of the loops that need to be closed out and just cleaning things up, getting rid of things, just whatever. Like I'm on a big purge fest right now. Just get it out of my life. I don't need this stuff anymore. It's an old version of me. I just don't need it. Get it out. But we're also dreaming the new dream. I mean, this is a dream that we've been nursing and nurturing for years, probably decades. Depends on how old you are, of course. But like, this is not an unfamiliar dream to you in all likelihood. This is a dream you've been carrying around forever, for so long. But finally, just let yourself dream it. Let that dream come into full blossom. And as you do so, you will cross over this magnificent threshold into all this Aries energy later in the spring, like starting end of March, April, May. You're going to end up in the new timeline that is satisfying and beautiful and resembles your dream. I know I'm just repeating myself. It's a very important message. I want you to hear me. I want you to take it seriously. I want you to stop believing in the things that you think limit you. They may have limited you in the past. I'm not saying that you're wrong for perceiving that you have been limited. Limitations are real. That's part of this sandbox environment we call Earth. Like there are limitations. There are things I'm sure that have held you back, but right now you just need to disentangle from them, like disidentify with them, disidentify, I don't know. Extricate your identity from these limitations and let yourself completely bloom into the gigantic, phenomenal being that you are. Okay. Okay, to be honest, I don't even know if I want to go into the cards because they're not bad. Like I know I'm setting it up to make it sound like there's bad energies and the cards are bad. They're not on any level. You know what? I'm feeling like all at once, I feel very activated and I have so much fucking clarity and so much lucidity and understanding of what is going on here and how everything is structured, how everything is working, what we need to do. And on the other hand, I feel so tired. I feel tired as a channel. I do. The reason, I mean, I love this work. I'm not intending to complain. I'm just sharing the humanness of doing such a beautiful job, but just where you feel like, I feel like I've said all these things so many times. So many times, and I'll say them again because that's my job, and I'm going to show up for it. And when I say job, I mean, like, obviously this is a free resource. This isn't a job where I directly get paid for it. I just mean this is my role. This is my sacred role that I signed up for, to be an oracle and to be a channel and to bring through these codes. And I get tired of reaching for the English language to try and articulate understandings that don't fit into English. And I get tired of hoping that they're going to land with you, but without having any idea or confirmation if they actually do. Like my own internal critic, maybe you could say, I don't know if it's fully a critic, but inside of me, I wonder if I'm failing all the time, because with a podcast, I that's why I love hearing back from you guys. When you do, you're under no obligation. There's no contractual obligation to message me back, or email me or whatever. But when I hear back from you, it's like it closes the loop. Otherwise, I'm just putting these messages out there into the ethers and really having no idea if they're landing, and having no idea if they are unlocking the things in your consciousness that they're intended to unlock. And so there's this like presumption of failure. I think it's just part of our human selves, right? It's the same dumb part that causes us to stop dreaming in case it doesn't work. So we just don't dream so that we don't feel disappointed. It's like the same part of me, I'm pretty sure. It's the same part of us that does this kind of stuff. But it's just a little glimpse into my human psyche here. The ultimate message that the cards are bringing through, the ultimate message of this whole time that I'm going to try and figure out how to articulate more or less every week in different ways. But it is the reminder that it's time for you now to remember who you really are. And remembering who you really are is an active choice. We can't wait for the clouds to part and the actual finger of God to come down and touch us on our third eye and expect to passively receive a complete download of all of the memories that we've been disconnected from, and the continuity of our soul on an eternal journey. And even if that were to happen, because sometimes we do have those kind of experiences, sometimes they are assisted by plant medicine, ayahuasca, or ceremony, like deep, profound ceremony practices like breath work or transcendental meditation, etc. In the absence of plant medicine, sometimes we do have those experiences. Or I feel like at this point, I have those experiences so often. They have not lost their novelty at all. I literally live for these moments where it feels like the finger of God has just come and touched me on my third eye and given me a huge bolus of remembering. But I'll tell you this, as somebody who does receive those moments frequently, I still have to validate them inside of myself, and I have to choose to believe them. And it goes against all of the messaging and the programming that we receive in society from day one. Society would have us believe that we are inconsequential, that we are just one of many, that we take up space, that we take up resources, we're just another mouth to feed, we're a burden, we have to make a productive contribution to society or else we're unworthy. That's what society would have us believe. We are a cog in the wheel and we are completely replaceable, okay? That is false programming, but it is so deeply embedded in our concept of self and reality that it feels very powerfully true. So when we receive these activations, like I hope that I'm about to transmit to you, we can have that moment of like, oh my God, where it feels like, the veils have parted and suddenly, we can see clearly now, or understand, or know, or hear, or feel, whatever, but with clarity, right? We have those moments and they feel so good. And then they kind of disappear, sort of like when a flash of lightning strikes and like for a moment, everything is illuminated and you can see everything, but then just as quickly it's gone. And you have the lingering impression that was like sort of, the lingering impression within your retina that is echoing what you just saw with the illumination of the lightning strike. But that impression sort of fades and then it feels like it's gone. In the absence of that revelation moment or activation moment, that's where you, as the human, you have to choose. And you have to choose to believe it against all of the programming that you have received from day one. So what I'm about to say is how important you are and what is actually going on here. And it feels beautiful to hear it. And I know you love my energy reports because you love hearing these things about yourself. But what I'm asking of you, and the part of me that feels kind of a little bit tired and a little bit defeated just in my own human self, what I'm asking of you is to actively choose to believe what I'm saying about yourself and actively repattern your identity around what is revealed to you as you listen to my words, okay? So journal it, like believe this about yourself, have mantras, affirmations, whatever you need to do. Buy yourself a new talisman, a ring, a necklace, a bracelet, a favorite something that you can put on to continuously and constantly reinforce this as your true identity, to override that programming that tells you that you're just nothing and you're nobody. That programming wants you to believe that you're nothing and you're nobody, because as long as you believe that, you don't take powerful action. You just wait for shit to happen in your life. And fuck that. Fuck that so hard. This is the Aries energy coming through. Fuck that so hard. You need to override that programming and believe that you are somebody. You are somebody important, you are somebody impactful, and you are somebody powerful, because you are. And who gives a shit whether anybody else in your life has ever seen that about you before or not? Guess what? We all received the same bullshit programming. They can't see it about themselves. That's why they don't see it in you. You're going to be limited by them? You're going to be limited by other people in their wounding? No. Enough of that. That is not why we came. That is not why you're here. You wouldn't listen to somebody like me if this were true, if this weren't true. Like, there are a lot, like I have a very small audience. I love my audience and I don't feel like I need more people. I love exactly who is here and is organically brought by the divine algorithm of the organic holographic matrix. I love all of you. But I'm just saying that the majority of people in the world, I don't think these messages are for them. And that's not to say that they aren't special and they aren't important. It's just to say that I don't think they have the level of consciousness available to them at this time to be able to hear what I'm saying and actually do something with it. You do. So please hear what I'm saying and actually do something with it, and know that it requires your effort to override the contradictory programming that you have received your whole entire life that would tell you otherwise, and that seeks to keep you small while it siphons off your creativity, your power, and your light. Okay. So I just didn't feel like pulling tarot cards. These are all oracle cards this week. But the first card that I pulled I pulled two from Rebecca Campbell's Starseed Oracle. And then I pulled one from her Healing Waters Oracle. And I pulled one from Jeannine Burgess's beautiful Mandala Oracle. So the first card that I pulled is called Lost Lands. And it says, soul memories and gifts. You've done this before. The second card that I pulled is the Courageous Peony. Multifaceted, unique nature. Let yourself be seen. The third card that I pulled is Selkie, which just gives me shivers because this is a very personally resonant mythology for me. But it says, Selkie, come out of hiding, embrace who you really are. And then Jeannine Burgess's Oracle card, her Mandala Oracle card, is Transformation. Change is inevitable, but transformation is by courageous choice. All the moments of your life have molded and shaped you. Appreciate where you are in your journey. Every season serves a purpose. You are in the process of becoming. So the ultimate message that I want to transmit, which goes perfectly with the astrology that we are experiencing right now, is just the reiteration that this is a story that has been playing out over eons, over such a long, long time. When we hear the words lost lands, most of us tend to think of Atlantis, but it predates Atlantis. And then we tend to think of Lemuria, but it predates Lemuria. We've been here for so long, and this story has been playing out for so long. And we have played out this theme for so long, through so many lifetimes. And we have acquired such profound gifts through that whole process. We have cultivated mastery in certain areas, certain talents and aptitudes that want to be brought forward and shared at this time. We've done this before. We've been here before. It's time to transcend that limited, wounded, 3D, broken muggle in the matrix identity that has intentionally been installed in us. But we have to actively choose it. Why? Because again, I feel like I say it all the time, and I'll say it a bazillion times more. This is a free will realm, which means that we can only be influenced and coerced. We cannot actually have the choices made for us, which is why nobody else is actually responsible for your healing. Healers facilitate healing, but they do not actually heal you. You are choosing your healing, or you are not choosing your healing. And of course, there are many reasons that we would choose it. It gets into potentially offensive and easily misunderstood territory to make statements like that, because they are oversimplifications of something that's actually very nuanced. But for the purposes of the message I'm trying to convey to you, you have to choose to transcend the damaged, wounded identity that you were installed with. You have to choose to unsubscribe and delete that identity and transcend it and remember who you are. You have to reach. There's no easy way. It's not that it's hard. It's such a beautiful path, and it's not hard work, but it's also not easy. Like, there's no shortcut. What I hear from people who often sit in ceremony with intense plant medicines like ayahuasca is that you get the temporary shortcut, but then you have to come back to earth and be in the human form and integrate it. So there is no magic pill that gives us access to all of this without having to actually powerfully choose it. So then with the cards, the Courageous Peony and Selkie. The Courageous Peony, again, it says, multifaceted, unique nature, let yourself be seen. And the Selkie is come out of hiding, embrace who you really are. And so these are just two different ways of reiterating the same message, which is you are here for a reason. You are coded differently. You have a different level of consciousness accessible to you than many of the other people. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you probably know that I don't fully jive with the term NPC or the concept of NPCs. I think it's possible that I haven't encountered NPCs, and so I misunderstand what is meant by that. In the same way that somebody who's never come across a ghost would say, oh, I've never seen a ghost, so they aren't real. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not meaning to gaslight you or challenge you if you feel like you've encountered NPCs. I honor your experience and your interpretation of your experience. But the way that NPCs, that term is used in a sort of like derogatory manner to describe everybody that is still functioning by false matrix programming, that I don't agree with. All I see is Stockholm Syndrome. That's what I see. I see people who have been so fucking traumatized through so many lifetimes and who have inherited the unprocessed, unhealed trauma of their lineage and their ancestry that they can't think from their full sovereignty. They have Stockholm Syndrome, and they are in large part motivated by the desire to just stay alive, safe, and comfortable. And so I don't fault those people, but those people are not coded in the same way that you are. And that doesn't mean that they are inferior on any level, or even that they're less evolved. They are just still in the grips of their unprocessed trauma and the black magic spells that have been cast over human consciousness. You're coded differently because you have access to lucidity. You can see beyond those black magic spells. Now, the spells are very tricky, and they most certainly, they do get the better of us. Like I see them, and yet I'm still a human. So I'll get pulled into it. It's frustrating, but we can see it. And the important thing that I want to get through in this transmission is that you are very, very powerful. And it is imperative that you step into that now and that you let yourself be seen and you stop hiding, because I know a bunch of you are hiding. I know a bunch of you are hiding. I know because you tell me. And then all those of you don't message me back or tell me what's going on in your life or whatever. We've never connected. You aren't in any of my programs, blah, blah, blah. We haven't had a, comment exchange or DM exchange or email exchange or whatever. I also know you're hiding. You're hiding. You're hiding. You have to stop hiding now. We're here now. We're here. It's so hard because I can't seem to access words within the English language and my understanding of the English language that allows me to adequately convey the energy and where we are in the evolution and the unfolding of this long fucking story that has been playing out for eons. But like I said last week, we're at this really important delineation point that is as impactful and as important as the period that is centered around the presence of Jesus Christ. and this is not like, I'm literally just commenting. You don't, whatever you believe, perhaps you're Jewish and you don't believe that Jesus, like Son of God. I'm not trying to say that. All I'm saying is that was an important time where, for whatever reason, like there's just a big delineation between before that person and after that person. That's where collectively we drew the line in the sand. And I personally believe that it's because the person in question, and also the others around him, in particular, the two Marys, those individuals, but for simplicity, we'll just say Jesus, came to embody freedom codes, sovereignty codes, and they placed that card on the table. Now, we haven't properly utilized that card in the time that has unfolded since then, but it's almost like, it's like if we imagine this as a big game. I don't know. I don't play any card games. Like I don't know poker well enough to use that as a good analogy, but kind of the way I see it is like, if you have a hidden sort of, I don't know, the word that's coming to mind is weapon, but I don't want to use that word because that's not what I mean at all. But you have this secret advantage. You have this secret like power move. Jesus put that power move out in the open on the table and was like, here you go. What are you going to do with it? And then, peaced out and let us do our thing to figure it out. So that was such a huge game changer. Like it just completely altered the direction of consciousness from that point onward. It really altered the story in an important way, while at the same time being an integrated, important part of the story. And we're at a similar time now where there is another like power card that is being put forward, and it's completely changing the way that the story evolves. So I believe that, it might not be the year 2025. I don't know. It could also be 2027. I'm not sure. But regardless, we're in it right now. We're in that threshold period. Like technically, like everything that is centered around Jesus is like supposedly within a 33-year period of his lifespan, his mortal lifespan. So it's not really about the calendar year is what I'm trying to say. It's about the energy and the importance of this time. This time is such that everything is literally changing. And it's changing in a way that is going to impact humanity and the story as it unfolds for such a fucking long time in such an inescapably and like foundational way. And you came to participate in this. This is why you're here. You came to play an important role in this. You need to step into that and stop allowing yourself to be limited by the annoying human shit that we've been told we have to always think about and take into consideration. Now, I say all this and like, it's easy to say and it's hard to do. And I realize this. And please know that I walk my talk. I walk my talk. So I'm not sitting here at this point in my life right now where I'm just like sitting on a gold mine and I have, like I've done really well in this business. But what I'm trying to say is I have huge expenses at this time. I still feel financial pressure. I have children to take care of. I have a home to take care of. I have relationships to tend to and steward and navigate. I have interpersonal dramas to sort through in the highest integrity possible. And I have my own internal healing to do. Like, I have to feed my body and take care of it. That, like I have all these same human annoying things that can be limiting factors as well. And it's not like we just get to forget about all of that, but we can't use it as an excuse anymore to stay small and hidden and to you can't buy into your smallness. You have to choose to buy into your magnificence, the hugeness, the impact that you're here to have. The impact that you have, that's the thing, is you don't get out of this without having impact. You're actually very important. Doesn't even matter if you understand it or believe it or not. You are impacting this reality right now. You are choosing the timeline right now. You're choosing your timeline and you are participating in the choosing of the collective timeline. So choose it powerfully. Choose it with lucidity. And guess what? When you let yourself be seen, when you come out of hiding, when you embrace who you really are, you also give, you reinforce the courage and you give permission to others who are watching you, who are, a little farther back on their journey. And it doesn't have to be by having a podcast or a YouTube channel or whatever. You can just continue being exactly as you are. But it's your willingness to have the weird conversation. It's the willingness to have somebody in their insecurity look at you like you have two heads and you just keep doing you. And you just keep holding this beautiful vibration and you keep having the real conversations. But there's a lot about soul purpose that's really coming through as well for me lately. So much. I'm pretty sure that's what my entire year is going to be about. Is level 1 is helping people to find clarity, total clarity on their soul purpose. And then level 2 is helping people to integrate the archetypal and higher dimensional identity of who they really are, and helping them to piece together their memories so they can remember the role that they came here to play. But the Selkie card, oh God, I love the Selkie card so much, because I have always, the first time I heard about the mythology of the Selkie, I was like, oh, that's me. I don't know how, I'm not saying that I'm literally a seal, but if you don't know, Selkies are, they are a Scottish and Irish thing. And it's these shape-shifting beings that they take on a seal form and are seals living in the water. And then they can shed their seal coat and be a human. And they're most often a female, a human female. And so they can go between the worlds. And that's what I understand about the mythology of the Selkie. Way before I had access to these memories, when I first heard about Selkies, and I thought to myself, that's me. There was just this recognition, and I think, and I couldn't quite place it, but as I say this, the recognition was the understanding of myself that I have different forms and I can walk between the worlds, and that's who I really am. And that we've all had to hide this shit for so long. We've had to hide it for so long and deny it. Deny that we are this, keep ourselves safe, keep our family safe, pretend we don't have magic, and to the point where we have almost forgotten that's who we are. But it's time now to recognize this and honor it and bring it forward. And I have a feeling that maybe all of the energy reports are just going to be variations on the same messages, because it feels like it's the most imperative message right now, especially, like I said, with everything that is happening between Pisces and Aries. Pisces is the part of us that lets us connect with and understand through our psychic abilities and our mysticism and the subconscious and the dream realm, to be able to understand ourselves in the other world and understand our alternate forms and understand ourselves with more fluidity as the shape-shifting beings that we actually are. And then Aries is that fucking like claiming of the new identity. So the energy right now is so, it's so ripe for this. It's so ripe for this, and I hope you use it, and I hope that you stop playing small. I hope you make some big fucking moves, is what I'm trying to say. I hope you make some big, bold, courageous moves in the next, I don't know, I guess 3 months, like March, April, May. Yeah. I hope you make some big, courageous, bold moves as you claim the truth of who you are and you embrace it. First, you have to claim it to yourself. I'll give you a personal example. So I was on a call with a wonderful friend of mine, and he and I were just talking about the downloads that we've been receiving. We seem to get pretty much the exact same information without, like, we've talked about it twice, and we're getting the same messages. And I told him my real name. He's the only person I've ever told my real name to. And I told him that on our first call a couple weeks ago. And today I asked him to tell me who he really is, and he did. And it's important now to start doing this. It's important to, like, it was scary. I could almost not get the words out. It felt so, like, I was so guarded about it. Like, it's one thing to remember within yourself, within the safety of your own imagination, who you actually are, and to claim that, and to claim how big you are and how important you are in this whole thing. And again, I have to reiterate, not more important than anyone else, just important in your own right. It feels edgy enough just to receive those knowings within self, but then to claim it out loud and claim it to somebody with whom you are safe, which is why I create the programs that I do, because I create safe spaces for people to claim this stuff and be recognized and seen and acknowledged as who they really are. But to claim that it's an edge, like there's a fear wall, there's a self-protection, there's a desire to deny who we really are and how powerful we are because of all the trauma that we've been through collectively and individually on this planet for so long. But now is the time to move beyond that fear wall and to claim it. To let yourself be seen, to come out of hiding, to embrace who you really are. And as Jeannine's card reminds us, change is inevitable, but transformation is by a courageous choice. Okay, you can bet your butt that there is some light language that wants to come through right now. Ke taro horo iro I whana aya I koro iso ni toia I ka. I tō tro whanua ira ki ono aya. Ti salawa tira ka I furu ira I hi. Soyo a tā I kuno era she o haya sita. I kuro ara ti atroa fe I kuno ara. Koyo ti so oni o te. I kiri I sha I tō I sono ara. Ke huro te ashna oia ki oso a tara ki fatro alawin ha I toro se I kono ti ha I tata fono aria ko ishinota sera kyo ha. Okay, my beautiful friends, that is the energy report for this week. I hope that I managed to bring through the activations that I know that I'm supposed to try and bring through this time. If all of this resonates with you and you want to go deeper, you just feel like it's time for you to step into this more powerfully, I have two perfect spaces for you. So the first one is my Akashic Keys Mystery School. This is where I bring through the memories and the mythology, and I'm trying to compile it in a linear manner to explain the construct of this universe and the story that has been playing out, and the migration to a new timeline that is happening right now. I talk about the archetypes that are coming forward, Lemuria, Atlantis, dragons and angelics, the Eternals, the Watchers, and the Elohim. There's just so many codes that are coming through, and this is where I drop it. And there's also access to a humongous library of previously recorded codes about how we operate, how our technology activates, how to interface with money and wealth and currency, how our chakras work, how to amplify and develop our psychic abilities. There's just so much in there. It's also a beautifully active and safe and high frequency community of other people who are, exploring similar things within themselves, who are just remembering the role that they play, figuring out the role that they play here, and the continuity of their own soul memories. So the Akashic Keys Mystery School is a beautiful place for you to come and land and to be seen, or many people also lurk in the background, and that's okay too. The other thing that I have on offer is the Soul Purpose Incubator. So I have figured out a way to get you so much frigging life-changing clarity around what your actual soul purpose is from a multitude of angles. So soul purpose in career, soul purpose in money, soul purpose in karma, soul purpose in relationships and contracts, like soul purpose in your own themes and what you need to bring into balance and healing. There's so much information, and I have figured out a way to get you that clarity to a level that is truly a game changer. Like if you have been trying to figure out your soul purpose, you're going to want to be in the Soul Purpose Incubator. The Soul Purpose Incubator is included in the Akashic Keys Mystery School, so you don't have to choose between the two. But if you're like, I just need to know what my damn soul purpose is so I can make these powerful, courageous changes you're talking about, Amy, and step into alignment with my soul, then the Soul Purpose Incubator is the place for you. And I'm opening up a beta round, opening the doors to a beta round next week on Tuesday, March 11th. So just keep your eyes open for that. And beta round means that I'm just I'm running it at 50% of the regular price and collecting testimonials and just like getting feedback from people so that I can improve it and just make it the most perfect experience imaginable. So if you want to take advantage of that significant price reduction, it's, in my opinion, from the transformation that is being facilitated, it's extremely, extremely affordable. So keep your eyes open for that. I would love to have you in it. And otherwise, I just hope that you're all navigating these energies as well as possible. I love to hear back from you. So if you just feel like emailing me or DMing me or whatever, I would love, 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 love to hear from you about how you're experiencing these current energies and what's coming up for you. And I love you guys so much. And I will catch you on the next energy report.